speaking of Israel, we got a problem. We got a problem, got a problem, got a problem. I, for one, take more offense to actions than rhetoric. But lately, what I have been seeing is politicians and those alike showing more outrage and frustration over rhetoric that is against Israel instead of Israel's actions. Case in point, take AOC right now, for example. Her and Zoran are getting a lot of backlash for this. This is what she said about the protesters in Queens. Hey, so marching in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood and leading with a chant saying we support Hamas is disgusting and anti-Semitic thing to do. Pretty basic. So first of all, there's the smugness of it to me, right? Pretty basic. Sounds smug. And then there's this whole thing of predominantly Jewish neighborhood, right? So let's see who was present at this protest, because I want you guys to see this. This is really interesting. Orthodox Jewish New Yorkers. AOC doesn't mention that. That's intentional. So here's what AOC is not telling you. Why are they there? They are there protesting because these synagogues are hosting real estate events inside to sell Palestinian homes in the West Bank to Americans. That's why they are there. They are not there protesting because they have an issue with their religion. That's not what this is about. But AOC knows that. So what is she campaigning for? Is it governor? Is it senator? Probably not governor. Is it president? Who is she trying to virtue signal to? So there were Orthodox Jews there that are part of the protest, but she doesn't mention that. She says predominantly Jewish neighborhood and leading this chant. So let's go on to the next one. Zoran. Similar thing, not as smug as AOC is. When he is questioned about the protesters who said that in Queens, listen to this.
Okay. What do you think of those protesters?
Can you say it one more time?
What do you think of those protesters that said we support Hamas here in Queens?
I think that language is wrong. I think that language has no place in New York City. And what would you say, sir?
For Henry, are you concerned with alienating any endorsement?
So again, we are focusing on language instead of behavior. You know, and a lot of us have been watching the way that AOC has been moving. We've been watching when she stood up there on that stage during the DNC convention and she said Kamala's working tirelessly for a ceasefire. That was a lie. She got called out by her own colleague, Ilhan Omar, for that one. The way that she's moving, she is positioning herself to run for something bigger. She's very quick to come out and defend Israel on Twitter. I've noticed this. But where is this same energy for the homes that are being sold, actually stolen and sold to Americans here that are Palestinian homes in the West Bank? Where's that same energy? So this is my response to this here. The focus and the priority should be placed on the fact that you have real estate events in the United States and in Canada, by the way, that are selling Palestinian homes in the West Bank to Americans, which is actually against international law. Shouldn't you lead with that? You don't agree with the rhetoric? Fine. I believe in free speech, so I'm just like, I don't have to listen to it. I don't agree with it. I ain't got to listen to it. But shouldn't you lead with, it is absolutely insane and against international law that these real estate events are selling Palestinian homes in the West Bank that are stolen from the Palestinian people to Americans here abroad? Why not lead with that? So speaking of that, Zoran was questioned again. And I want you to hear what he said this time. He was questioned about those homes being stolen and then sold.
I was just wondering, like, why you didn't condemn both sides of
So, can you say the last part?
this? If you have a comment on the other side.
Well, I absolutely am in opposition to the sale of land in the occupied West Bank. It's something in violation of international law, and that comes from my belief in the importance of following international law.
Okay. He said it's a violation of international law. And he said he's, against that. But notice they don't lead with that. That's the problem. And again, it's like I said, they're putting themselves in a position to go for something higher at some point in time. Now, this isn't new. We got to go back to when this was reported by The Guardian, 2024. Hundreds of Palestinian supporters protest Israeli real estate event at New Jersey synagogue. Just want to remind everybody, when we were talking about this a year ago, that they were selling these homes. This was March of 2024. Hundreds of people marched through the suburb of Teaneck, New Jersey, in protest of a real estate fair held in the Kedator synagogue that featured an Israeli company pitching properties in Israel and the occupied West Bank, again, against international law. And you know what? They're slick about it too. They host these events at a synagogue. So if you protest outside of the synagogue, they can say that you're being anti-Semitic because you're protesting outside of their place of worship. Organized by several Jewish organizations, including the Northern New Jersey branch of Jewish Voices for Peace, along with Teaneck for Palestine, the protesters marched 1.4 miles from the Teaneck Armory to the synagogue, waving flags, beating drums, and chanting "Free Palestine." The real estate company called My Home in Israel, they got some nerve, don't they? My Home in Israel. Wow. Has organized several exhibitions across cities in Canada and the US, including Teaneck, a commuter town on the outskirts of New York City. According to its website, the company boasts luxury apartments, many penthouses, and villas for sale across Israel and the occupied West Bank. At least 2 apartment complexes offer an urban living experience in a perfect environment in the settlement of Ariel, near the West Bank city of Nablus. So this is a problem. It's been happening. And I just don't think that AOC and Zoran are prioritizing the real issue here. This is why I say deception is a hell of a drug. What matters more? What is coming out of someone's mouth, their rhetoric, their language, or someone's behavior? Actual land theft, stealing people's homes, selling it to someone else. I told you a lot of people over there are settlers, and they attend these real estate events here, right here in the United States. They buy these homes, someone else's home. Who knows if they were beaten, killed? They took it from them somehow, and then they move over there. So what is more important? Someone chanting something or someone stealing something and giving it to someone it doesn't belong to? I think this is why I say the politicians at the end of the day, they're not saviors. They're not heroes. A lot of these people are looking forward to their next political, journey in their career, and they're preparing for that. And they'll say whatever they need to say to kind of, I wouldn't be surprised if someone told her to say that. When you decide to defend the occupier, you prioritize the occupier. you lose sympathy for the occupied. The right thing to do would be to prioritize those who are occupied, not the people doing the occupying. Something to think about. Let's continue on, ladies and gents. Oh, one more here. Sorry. One more here. This is important. When we talk about protesting, right? I want to remind you what Malcolm X said. Listen to this.
But I take it then you support the freedom-loving attempts of the peaceful marchers in Alabama and these places.
You don't get freedom peacefully. Freedom is never safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom. And when black people in this country come out from under the mental straitjacket that the Negro clergymen have placed them in, and begin to see that the only way you can get freedom is to get it the same way the white man in this country got it from England, or he says he got it from England. He was willing to pay the price for freedom. When you're willing to pay the price for freedom, then you'll get it. But the Negro in this country has never been willing to pay the price for his freedom. All of the price that we've been paying in the past has been freedom for the white man. We fought abroad so that the white man in America could be free today to sick police dogs on us, to beat our people in the heads with police clubs, and to turn water hose on little women and children and babies simply because they want to walk down the street like decent human beings. That's now the only way you can have peace is to eliminate those injustices, and the American white man is not going to eliminate them. He's going to talk that pretty talk, but he'll still continue to practice those inhuman deeds.
But I take it then.
So the point is this, AOC, who's worried about rhetoric, Zoran, who's worried about rhetoric, and Zoran knows this because of his dad, you know, in the history with his dad. Freedom is not free. And it's not peaceful. It's just the reality. And people are telling you, tone it down. Don't speak this way. Don't use that vocabulary. People who are telling you that, they're not trying to get some type of freedom for the Palestinian people. They're trying to have a little teeny bit of reform, which means they'll still be occupied. It's crazy when you think about it, right? Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.